Hello, this is my first time posting on this subreddit. If this is the wrong place, please let me know and direct me to the correct one. I thought this would be best after looking through a list of advice subreddits. Obligatory sorry for formatting. I am on mobile, so it's really what it says in the title. But of course, you'll need more info than that, so here we go. Sorry if it gets jumbled and rambly. I'm typing this more just as it comes to me. I'll do my best. I was raised by my Nana, Papa, and my dad, his parents, and him. My mom and her parents were in my life about every weekend or so, nothing super set in stone. Until I was like 6, I had no idea she was my mom. I thought she was just some aunt or something that tagged along. Didn't know, didn't really care. To me, my Nana was my mom figure. And my Nana, she was married to my Papa. And my dad was their kid. Apparently, they thought I just knew she was my mom. And I remember everyone being very shocked that I didn't know that my mom and dad never got married. My dad was told that he was never going to be able to have kids. And he says that she told him she had an IUD at the time as well. Along came me, miracle baby, as far as my dad and his side of the family are concerned. It turns out shortly before she revealed she was pregnant with me, my dad found out he got caught up with another crazy girl. Yes, another. That's a story for a different time. He wasn't super sure it was his, but he was scared of what if it was. So he stuck around the best he could. They all said that when I was born, any doubts went straight out the window. And my mom's first words about me were, "Oh God, she looks like Jim." So fast forward to what I found a few years ago, after my dad died. All this time I knew that my Nana and Papa got custody of me when I was 8 months old, and lived at their house ever since. But I didn't know any concrete reason why. I knew my mom had mental problems of some kind, but she always seemed 80 to 90% normal, and was eventually told she had bipolar. I also knew my dad probably had some form of undiagnosed ADHD, and was an alcoholic, and at least before his death, also a drug addict. My fiance didn't really understand my family dynamics, and why I was pretty apathetic towards my bio mom. So I told him to ask my Nana, since I didn't feel like going through everything with him. What was odd is when that happened, I was told to leave the room and they locked the door. I asked for months what on earth they talked about that I didn't know. My fiance finally caved and told me that my Nana never wanted to ever tell me, and that it was going to die with her and be his secret. Turns out, when I was about 6 months old, my mother was left alone with me in an apartment that my dad and her had, and she tried to drown me in the tub. My dad got home from work and I think he heard yelling, ran to the bathroom and caught her. I didn't need CPR or anything, but that started it. My dad's side and my mom's side started the custody battle. And that was why my Nana always kind of hated my mom's parents. They always had an excuse for her and tried to take me away. They lost, my Nana and Papa got me, and I lived my life not knowing. It didn't change much of anything for me, except finally stuff fell into place that I always thought was odd. Like the surprise that my family had and overvigilance they had when I expressed that I absolutely adored swimming more than any other sporty activity. The side eyes and the fact my dad refused to talk to my mom, etc. My mom has everything provided for her. She supposedly can't work, insists she can't drive, but she isn't allowed to. And her parents take her to every doctor's appointment, every grocery run, pay for her phone, give her money for laundry, let her stay with them even though she has an apartment. Just because she's having a tough time, etc. They expect me to do all this for her when they pass. I don't want to. I haven't told them. I love my mama and papa, her parents, to death. And they are currently my only living grandparents. I love them so much, I don't want to break their hearts. So I don't tell them outright that I don't. And I keep a civil relationship with my mom and even call her that half the time. Makes everyone happy. Even without them, she would have everything provided for her. She lives off government stuff. She has government-assigned housing, government insurance, disability insurance, and there's at least 2 shuttles that would take her to doctor appointments and grocery stores that come to her apartment complex a day. She doesn't need anything, and I don't want to provide it. Is it wrong of me to ghost her after they pass? Should I be completely honest with her after they pass and let her know I was only being nice for their sake? Do I need to tell the police that if you hear anything about me from her, I cut her out of my life and I'm fine? What do I do? Thanks for listening. Sorry for formatting, grammar, errors, and long-windedness. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. I don't think it's wrong to ghost her, as she is entirely being taken care of by the government. I don't feel you owe her anything considering your past history. After the grandparents die and the estate is settled, there shouldn't be any reason for you to stay in contact with her. At that point, I would tell her that you are going to live your best life without her in your life. Comment 2. Something to consider if you choose not to discuss this with your grandparents. They may ask you to start helping with your mom, either to learn the ropes and/or, as they get older, they may not be able to manage as much as they do now. Now for the update, thanks for coming back to hear more. Just when I thought things couldn't get more twisted, they did. Last week, my mama and papa, the ones who've been taking care of my mom, they had a huge fight with her. It was about me, of course. They want me to promise I'll look after her when they're gone. I tried to dodge the question, but they wouldn't let it go. It ended with my mom screaming that she never wanted me in the first place, that I was a mistake. That stung, but it wasn't the worst part. The next day, I found out my mom had been spreading lies about me to our relatives, saying I was stealing from my grandparents, that I was the one with problems, not her. It was like she was trying to turn them against me before they even passed away. I was furious, but I didn't confront her. I just let it slide, like always. Then, 2 days later, my papa had a heart attack. It was bad. The whole family rushed to the hospital, and in the middle of that chaos, my mom did something unbelievable. She accused me right there in the hospital corridor of causing Papa's heart attack with my selfish behavior. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to scream at her, tell her the truth about everything, but I just stood there, taking it. Papa pulled through, thank God, but the damage was done. The family was looking at me differently, whispering behind my back. And my mom? She was playing the victim, soaking up the sympathy. I felt like I was being walked all over and I was doing nothing to stop it. But then, something happened that changed everything. My fiancé, who had been quiet through all of this, suddenly stepped up. He told everyone the truth about the drowning incident, about the lies my mom had been spreading. There was a huge fallout. Some family members didn't believe him, but others did. And it started a rift. In the end, my mom's lies caught up with her. The relatives who believed us started to see her for who she really was. They stopped enabling her, stopped excusing her behavior. It wasn't a dramatic showdown or anything, but slowly she started to lose her grip on the family. And me? I'm still here, still standing. I haven't decided what to do about my mom after my grandparents are gone, but for now, I'm just trying to support Papa and Mama and keep my head above water. Thanks for reading. Aita for dumping my girlfriend after she cried. Post-orgasm and admitted she's still into her ex? Yesterday evening, my girlfriend and I were engaging in foreplay. I was taking the lead because I don't require much stimulation beforehand. I successfully brought her to orgasm using my hands. But when she climaxed, she started crying. She turned away from me and avoided any physical contact, eventually falling asleep. Today, I tried asking her why she cried and rejected any physical touch afterward, but she wouldn't tell me. She has also been distant and preoccupied with her phone. This behavior is abnormal because she has never reacted like this after an orgasm before. Usually, she is not in the mood afterward, but this time was different because she cried and ignored me. If I had hurt her, she typically communicates it to me right away because we have open discussions about intimacy. However, she doesn't usually communicate when something bothers her in general. This time, though, it felt very personal. I felt both physically and emotionally rejected. Lately, she has been easily irritated by everything I do or say, so maybe her crying was a result of built-up anger towards me. I don't want to hear superficial advice suggesting that I should break up with her because that's not the issue. She consistently shows that she is still interested in me. I simply want to hear others' experiences with similar situations. Edit. For those suggesting that she cheated, I can guarantee that she hasn't. Not because I have all-knowing powers, but because she rarely leaves her house. She lives with her family, and I have a great relationship with her sister, friends, and mother. If she had cheated, they would inform me immediately. I'm also feeling anxious due to past relationship traumas, where my ex cheated on me. So asserting that she cheated isn't helpful. We have had multiple fights where she said things she didn't mean. She has always been bullied about her appearance, so she is defensive at times. We are still in the early stages of this relationship, so we are still learning about each other's private personalities. Perhaps her feeling guilty after saying things she didn't mean caused her to cry. She is a closed-off person, and I am the first person she has been intimate with. Thank you to those who have offered any explanation other than cheating, as that is the least likely scenario for someone who already struggles with self-esteem. Edit 2. After spending time with her friend, she seemed more willing to talk, and she did. She explained that she needed some space because of a drunken dispute, where I said things that I only imagined. HPPD makes things difficult, but she is working on herself. I know that I made mistakes in that regard. She also mentioned that I had hurt her because she's not accustomed to penetration, whether it be with fingers or my weenie, as I am her first intimacy partner. She didn't want me to stop after reaching orgasm, but it caused her so much pain that she experienced shivers due to heightened sensitivity. We have discussed this over video call, and she apologized for her reaction and for hurting me by not wanting to continue with intercourse. She also believes that she doesn't deserve me because I treat her better than anyone ever has. And therefore, she feels inclined to self-sabotage in order for me to break up with her. I assured her that I won't be ending the relationship and helped her regain her composure. She will be coming over later this week, so we can have a full conversation about it, and she apologized for her previous behavior. By the way, she didn't communicate her feelings to her friends either, as I spoke to them to see if they had any insight, and it seems like she herself is unsure of her emotional state. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. This used to be me, and it was because of intimacy abuse I experienced as a child, though there are many trauma-related and non-trauma-related reasons this could happen. I recommend you continue to create a safe space for her feelings, continue to provide her support, and for now, lean on other types of intimacy, snuggling, closeness, kissing, until you are sure that she is feeling safe and secure before you have intimacy again. The last thing you want to do is accidentally create pressure for intimacy. If she's processing trauma, as this could lead her to associate intimacy with you with the trauma she's processing. Comment 2. The one time a girl cried after an orgasm in my company was probably because she never thought she'd be in a position to be wanted. At least that's what she told me. Self-esteem issues, depression. It was a weight off her shoulders, relief, and the intensity of experiencing something she thought she may never. Now, for the update. Thanks for sticking around. A lot has happened since the last post. So she came over like we planned, and we sat down to talk. It was supposed to be a heart-to-heart, but it turned into a mess. She confessed that the reason she's been so distant is because she's been talking to her ex. Yeah, the one she told me was a closed chapter. She said they were just friends, but I saw a message pop up on her phone, and it was definitely not something just friends would say. I was furious, but I kept it together. I didn't want to be that guy who loses his cool. We argued, and she said she was confused, that she didn't know what she wanted anymore. I should have walked away then, but I didn't. I told her we could work through it, that I'd give her time to figure things out. Big mistake. The next day, her sister calls me. She's in tears, saying my girlfriend's ex showed up at their house, and they had a huge fight. Her family's all shaken up, and they're blaming me for not being there to stop it. Like I knew the guy was going to show up. I rushed over, and it was chaos. Her ex had left, but the damage was done. Her mom wouldn't even look at me. I tried to talk to her to understand why she let him back into her life. She said she felt guilty for how their relationship ended and thought she owed him a conversation. That conversation turned into weeks of talking, and she got caught up in the past. She swore it was over now, that the fight made her see he wasn't the one she wanted. I wanted to believe her, but something felt off. I agreed to stay with her, to help her through the aftermath of the fight. But then, her phone buzzed again. It was him apologizing, saying he wanted to meet up and talk things through, and she hesitated. That hesitation said everything. I should have ended it there, but I didn't. I told her to block him, to cut him out for good, and she did. Or at least she said she did. I wanted to trust her, but trust is like a mirror. Once it's broken, you can never look at it the same way again. The next few days were a blur. Her family was walking on eggshells around me, and I felt like an outsider. My girlfriend was trying to be affectionate, to make up for everything, but it all felt forced. I was just going through the motions, pretending everything was fine. Then, her best friend pulled me aside. She told me my girlfriend had been planning to meet her ex behind my back, that she was still confused and didn't want to hurt me. But she couldn't help herself. I confronted my girlfriend and she broke down, admitting it was true. She said she loved me, but wasn't in love with me. I should have walked away. But I didn't. I told her we'd figure it out, that we could get past it. I made the wrong choice, and I didn't even know it. I was holding on to something that was already gone. Thanks for reading. Aita for moving overseas and leaving my family drama behind after being called the forgotten child. I am a middle child with 7 siblings. We're all very close and have a good relationship with one another. The other day I was having dinner with my 3 younger siblings, 20-year-old male, 22-year-old female, 25-year-old male. The youngest is pursuing psychology, so he was sharing some things he's learned in his program recently, one of which was family dynamics and how your birth order affects the kind of personality you develop growing up. He then proceeded to describe each of us siblings and our role in the family. For our other siblings, he used terms like the golden child, the black sheep, the mascot, etc. And then when it came to me, he said I was the forgotten child. I honestly did not expect him to say that, and I was taken aback for a moment. I guess I was expecting him to say that I was the mediator, because that's how our other siblings have described me in the past, because it's true. Whenever there are fights in the family, I'm always the one calming people down and mediating the conflict. When a parent or sibling has a problem with someone in the family, I'm the one they vent to or turn to for help. So I guess I was just expecting that that was going to be my descriptor, but my brother called me the forgotten child instead. And it really, really hurt. I had to fight back tears at that moment, because I didn't want my siblings to see me cry. It was a casual dinner conversation that I didn't want to turn into an awkward moment. I had to pretend like I was okay, continuing the conversation with them and laughing with them, but eventually I had to come up with an excuse to leave early. I drove home and cried my heart out while my husband just held me. The thing is, I've always felt that I wasn't really a favorite of our parents. I mean, there are 8 of us. It's difficult to love us all equally, but it always hurt a bit whenever I saw my other siblings get preferential treatment or more affection than I did. I never wanted to be the favorite. I just wanted fair treatment. Growing up, I dealt with this by trying to understand that our parents are trying their best and they can only do so much. They've provided me with my basic needs and more. I should just be grateful. Now that I'm already 32 and living independently out of state, I thought I was past those feelings. But hearing my youngest sibling call me the forgotten child really, really stung. And the fact that none of our other siblings disagreed with his label made me feel that our parents truly don't care about me. Like I can disappear one day, and they wouldn't be able to tell unless a conflict in the family needs resolving. I feel like I'm expected to be the one to fix everyone's problems, but I'm not worth loving just on my own. The worst part of all this is that I have had suicidal thoughts in the past. But what stopped me from doing anything was thinking about how my parents would feel. But apparently they wouldn't care because I'm the forgotten child. I feel like such a baby feeling this way. But I don't know how to move forward from this. I have built an amazing life for myself. Successful career, the best husband, financially stable, amazing group of friends. I don't need my parents anymore, so why do I still hurt? It's to the point that I think I never want to visit my family again. Part of me is saying I should just talk to my parents and ask them what it is about me that makes me so insignificant. Or should I just leave our family group chat and ghost them all? It's so childish, I know, but I'm at a loss. Please tell me, how do I get over this? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. You take your time. Feel your feelings and wait for it to subside to manageable levels before making any decisions. It also sounds like you tie your self-worth to your usefulness. Is that limited to your family of origin or with all of your relationships? I recommend therapy to see if you can work on self-esteem and self-worth. because at the end of the day, we can only change ourselves, not others. Comment 2. I'm sorry if this is going to come across as harsh, but I think this isn't as big a deal as you're making it out to be. Like you said, you've built a good life for yourself now. Your parents and what they think of you don't matter anymore. They seem to have treated you well, just not as well as your siblings. That happens. Better to just focus on where you are, not where you've been. Now for the update. Thanks for sticking around. So, a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks. First off, my older sister, the one we all thought had her life together, got caught cheating on her husband. It was a mess. She came to me crying, asking for advice. I was shocked. She's always been the role model, you know? It turns out she's been seeing this guy from her work for months. Her husband found some texts on her phone. The whole family was in an uproar. My parents were disappointed, and it was like a bomb had gone off in our family group chat. Everyone was taking sides. And guess who they expected to smooth things over? Me, of course. Then, as if that wasn't enough, my brother, the one studying psychology, had a huge fallout with my parents. He decided to drop out of college to start his own business, and they did not take it well. They cut him off financially, and he was suddenly in need of a place to stay. So, he moved in with me and my husband across the state. Our house became the new family battleground, with my parents calling all the time, either to argue with him or to complain to me about his choices. Amidst all this, my husband got a job offer, a big one, but it's overseas. We had to make a quick decision, and we decided to take it. It meant leaving all the family drama behind, which, I won't lie, felt like a relief. But it also meant leaving my siblings to deal with the fallout without me. I felt guilty, but also free. We moved last week. New country, new home, new everything. It's been very eventful, and I've been so busy setting up our new life that I haven't had much time to think about everything else. But late at night, when it's quiet, I can't help but feel like I've abandoned them. Even though they've always seen me as the forgotten child, I was still their go-to for solving problems, and now I'm not there. The worst part, I got a call yesterday. My parents are getting a divorce after 35 years of marriage. They said it's been a long time coming, but I can't help but feel like all the recent events might have been the last straw. My siblings are taking it hard. They're all over the place, emotionally and physically. And here I am on the other side of the world feeling helpless. I've been trying to support them through video calls and messages, but it's not the same. I'm the outsider now, more than ever. And the irony? They're all saying how much they miss me, how they didn't realize how much I did for the family. It's a terrible situation, but they're finally seeing my worth. And yet, I can't shake the feeling that I'm just waiting for the next crisis to pull me back in. Thanks for reading. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.